If you're planning to study abroad, remember one thing, that getting a job abroad, it's exactly like India, that you will have to apply to a lot of companies to listen back to the responses. So it would take you time. And getting those jobs are slightly trickier. Why? Because you don't even have the visa for it. So you should be highly competitive in getting those jobs. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that you should be doing. It would be very specific to very general. I'll start with very general courses that everyone should do. And then I'll talk about very specific courses that are very specific to fields. One important question, are these resources free? No, not all of these resources are free. Some of them are paid. So some are free, some are paid. Why have I kept paid resources in this? Because I wanted the best resource list. And even if you have to spend a bit of money, you should, because this is your education. You're anyhow planning to spend 10-20 lakh rupees in your study abroad. If investing a small amount would make your career better, you should be doing it. So let's start with the most general course that you can go for to the most specific. At number 5, you have to do a public speaking course. Now, why a public speaking course? So that you can convey your thoughts easily and in a better way. Why is it important? Because 90% of employers right now are looking for good public speakers. If you're good at communication, your chances of getting a job eventually just go dramatically higher. Now for this, I have one of the best free resources, that is the Harvard online course for public speaking. I would leave the link of that in the description. Next, who should be doing this course? Literally everyone. Anyone who comes from the commerce field requires it, because communication is the most important thing in commerce. Anyone who comes from the humanities field requires it. Someone who comes from the science field, let's suppose an engineer, does he require it? He requires it, 1, at the time of getting the job, 2nd, at the time of promotions, 3rd, at the time of becoming a manager, because a manager needs to have good communication skills. So if you think that you're coming from science field and this is not something you need, trust me, this is the most important skill that you can learn. So go to the description, use this resource. At number 4, I would take up a problem solving course, because multiple number of times when you're applying for jobs, you will have to give an exam which will be testing your problem solving ability. So doing a problem solving course can be good. I'll leave a few resources in the description. I don't want to waste your time and talk more about it, because I know that you know the importance of problem solving courses. So do a course on problem solving if you're planning to go towards an analytical field, because in terms of your jobs, when you're applying for jobs, there will be at least one test that would be testing this. So it might be very important for you. Spot 3 I've kept for specifically engineers. So if you are an engineer or want a job in the coding field, watch this, or skip to this timestamp where I'll be talking about commerce. First thing for engineers, if you want to enter into the highest paying jobs, you have to enter into the coding side. Now in the coding side, if you want to become a coder, you have to start with lead code. Right now, there is a 50% increase in the past 5 years for the requirement of coders. At the same time, there is a huge supply also. So in order to get this job, you should be smart enough to crack these roles. Now, what should you be doing? You should be focusing on lead code. You can also start this entire process by these 1000+ video tutorials that are available on YouTube by Scaler. It is called Lead Code Problem Solved Step by Step. The best thing is, when you look at the jobs of coders, there are 60% of the questions that are very famous, and those are the ones that are asked. So you should be focusing on those questions. Second one is a system design interview, an insider guide by Alex Zhu. These are 2 books, one written in 2014 and the other one written in 2020. And if you're planning to enter into system design, this is the best resource for you. And according to my personal research, any student of mine who has done these has had a considerably higher chance of getting a job in system design. Now, if you're a commerce student, I would broadly categorize the things that you can enter into 5 things. 1 would be HR, next consulting, 3rd marketing, then finance and accounting. So these are the 5 things that you can enter into. Let's talk about each one by one. So if you're planning to enter into HR, there is a beautiful course by University of Minnesota. What I'll do is I'll leave the link in the description, and ideally that course can help you understand a lot about HR. But getting an HR job right now in the current market abroad would be slightly tricky. Why? Because there are not a lot of number of jobs, but if you get the job, the stability in job is really amazing. So is HR a field I would recommend? Yes, if you love such work. Is HR something where you can find job? Slightly trickier. So you should know that. Next, let's talk about consulting. Consulting, one of the highest paid job roles out there in the entire market. It is really high paid, but problem with consulting is I don't recommend you any course for it. Why? Because it is all on case studies. The more case studies you solve, the better you get at consulting. No one can teach you consulting. At least I believe that no one can teach me consulting. The more case studies that I do, the better it is. So what I'll do is I'll leave a list of around 1000 case studies of consulting. If you're able to solve all those 1000 case studies, trust me, you're better than someone who is doing an MBA, because that person who is doing an MBA is solving the same case studies. So what I'll do in the resource list is give you case studies, no course. At number 3, we talk about marketing. Now marketing, I would divide marketing into 2 broad subcategories. One would be digital marketing, and the other one would be marketing analytics. In digital marketing, you get a free course from Google about marketing. I would highly recommend you to check this course out. But for marketing analytics, there is a paid course that I might recommend you, and that would be in the description. Okay, then we come to the most highly paid courses, CPA and CFA, finance and accountancy. So if you plan to go towards the accountancy side, you should be doing a CPA. It is highly paid in India as well abroad. And if you want to enter towards the finance field, I would recommend you to start with a smaller certification, because accountancy you would have already studied, finance you would have never studied before. So start with investment analysis and portfolio management, and then go ahead with CFA. In fact, if you're a commerce student, you have to watch this video, because in this video I talk about which course should you do after commerce, highest paid courses after commerce. So watch this video. Click, click, click.